Okay, hi everyone. Good afternoon. This is Dawn with the Valley Air District. Let's go ahead and get started. We are going to record this in Spanish as well. So Tanya, if you want to go ahead and do a little bit of the intro, and then I'll turn on interpretation and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good. Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. We have Spanish interpretation available for you today. So if you are a monolingual English speaker, we encourage you to please select the English channel. In case we have any communication from Spanish into English, you'll be able to hear the interpretation live. If you are using a computer, once the interpretation's on, you will see a globe at the bottom of your screen. You need to select the English channel. If you are using a cell phone or a tablet, you need to tap your screen, then select the three little dots that you see at the bottom, select language interpretation, then select English, and then at the top of your screen, you'll see a button that says done. You need to click on it. That way you can hear the interpretation. Buenas tardes a todos, bienvenidos. Tenemos interpretación en español disponible para ustedes el día de hoy en la reunión. Una vez que la interpretación sea encendida, en la parte baja de su pantalla, ustedes van a ver un icono de un mundo. Por favor, seleccionen el canal de español. Si ustedes están utilizando un celular o una tableta, tienen que tocar su pantalla, seleccionar los tres puntitos en la parte de abajo que dice More o Más, buscar donde dice Interpretación de idioma, luego seleccionar Español y por último en la parte de arriba un botón azul que diga Done o Listo para que puedan escuchar la junta completamente en español. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tanya. And welcome everyone. We are here with our Fresno Air Monitoring Outreach Subcommittee. Thank you so much for joining us. And my name is Zong, and I'm with the Valley Air District again. Just wanted to share the agenda. If you guys can hold on just a second while I share my screen. Can you guys see the agenda on my screen? Looks good? Okay, perfect. So today we are going to give an update on school outreach and then go on to the air monitoring at about 4:30 to do an update on air monitoring and then close out the meeting at around 4:50 for open comments for suggestions and next steps. And then go ahead and stop sharing. And just in case for the Spanish, let me just scroll down a little bit for the Spanish. Right there for the Spanish. And then Heather, I'm gonna shoot it over to Heather and she can start.
Thank you, Zong. All right, hello everyone. I don't see Nayamin here, so hopefully she'll join us. I know she has a lot of interest and shared a lot of ideas last time. And while I actually kind of stall and hopefully leave a little bit of time for them, for anyone else to arrive, I want to kind of give you an update of what happened in the last week or two. It's been busy in air quality world, and we had an industrial fire actually in the downtown area and took it as a prime opportunity to jump out with a link to the Malaga or the AB617 community air monitor. So that was, oh, there's Genevieve. She'll be joining, but in about 10 minutes. Okay, thanks, Genevieve. And so we pushed folks to the Malaga Air Monitor. So it was kind of an exciting time. It's unfortunate that that situation occurred, but a chance to put the resource out there and let the community know what's available under their fingertips. Got a lot of hits that day. Didn't see a crazy spike in air quality, luckily. The benefit that I think was happening that day is that it was a little bit windy or quite a bit windy. So we had good dispersion, but still scary and something that we were, getting happy to respond to and, dispatching, folks to the fire and on scene and, just being in the mix of all that stuff. It just kind of brought it all front and center. And Zong and I and the team have also been busy working with schools. Specifically, we talked last time about the desire and the need to primarily make sure that the schools themselves that are hosting air monitoring know that that is there and a resource, but then step off from there and make sure the immediate neighborhoods also know. And then in general, the air quality communication that we do through to all of our schools. Since we met as a body last time, we did actually get quite a bit of traction, and we're excited about that. We've had multiple meetings with school sites and discussions about potentially deploying REITs or air monitoring displays at those sites. There's a lot of conversation revolving around talking to parents and maybe having a community meeting. And hopefully when Naomi's here too, we can sort of dig in further on the mini grant concept and push through a couple ideas we'd like to do to execute some on the ground work, specifically in the boundaries, continue the work that we've started. Which school is Washington Union, wasn't it, Song? So we've got a great conversation going with the principal and the IT team at Washington Union. Some really cool things are happening organically in our House Schools program right now, including schools just on their own taking the air quality display concept and being interested in sharing air quality with school and staff, with students and staff and parents. And it sounds like Washington Union wants to do that. Yeah,
sorry to break you in the middle here. I was just
You're
wondering
good.
that if this is a really important topic that Naomi has really spoken a lot about and want to be involved in. Do you guys want to just switch this around? Maybe I can go over
Sure, start with air monitoring. Yeah.
Yeah, and then later on, when Naomi gets here, then we can switch back to that.
Hopefully
And
she makes it.
just-
Yep, that sounds just fine. It's,
Yeah,
assuming
do that.
the group is interested in doing the same. Thumbs up from Genevieve.
All right, cool. It's fairly short here, so that's why I thought we can cover that
Thanks,
right now.
Jack.
Okay, no problem. And so, there's been some concern about getting just some sampling done at Edison, and just wanted to let everybody know that that's it's taken some time. But so we first started the sampling on March 13th, and some of that data, about probably close to like a month's worth or so, has been sent off, and we're still waiting for the samples. But it should be like any day now that we should be getting those samples. So once we get that, receive that, we'll do some analysis on that and let the present it to the committee. And in addition to that, there's also some concern about getting some air monitoring sampling downwind from Vitro glass, from the Vitro glass plant. That's about 3/4 of a mile just northeast of Malaga Elementary. So we did do some sampling on May 12th. So that's about like about 2.5 weeks ago there. And so we've sent those samples out for analysis. So we're still awaiting for that. And once we get the results for that, we'll also let the committee know. There's a third site, I know the Kinder Morgan bulk plant that the committee has expressed interest in and getting some sampling done on that one. So for that particular one, we'll be sampling volatile organic compounds. And with that, we're going to need to modify our existing units to be able to do that sampling there. So we're still awaiting for that equipment to arrive. And once it arrives, we'll commence the VOC sampling for that location.
Which equipment, Shai, specifically? I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, so these, since it's for VOC, so
Yeah.
for the Vitro glass plant, we're sampling for particulates. There's concern about the glass particles. So that uses a different type of equipment. It's a filter-based equipment. So for Kinder Morgan, we're looking at gases. And so with that, we have canisters. So the canisters that we have, that we've been using for VOC are really designed for longer periods of time.
Gotcha.
And so we need to get the modifications to those so that they're able to take in more air, and so that we can get more of the samples so that they can do the analysis.
I see. And that's what you're waiting to arrive. Got it.
Yeah. So just those modifications, and they've been taking just a little bit longer than what we've been anticipating. So hopefully another month or so we'll get those in, and once those are in, we'll start monitoring we'll do some sampling at Kinder Morgan plant as well.
Can I ask which piece of equipment you're using? Are you using something like a 901 that's going to force more air into the canister, or are you going to use like a critical orifice?
I think Brad may have a little bit more detailed technical information on that.
Yeah, we're just using 6-liter canisters and just sucking in from vacuum to still negative pressure to ensure a leak tight. But We only had orifices that could do 24-hour samples, so we have placed an order to do several different hour types, depending on the type of monitoring and ability and time frame that we have. So we've placed that order, and we're just waiting for the manufacturer to send us new orifices.
Great, thanks.
No problem.
Sorry, Chai, I didn't mean to interrupt. Continue.
Hey, no problem. Well, that's pretty much it for my update. And if there's anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer it.
I did have one other question. I thought you guys did samples at in vitro glass earlier this year, and you were waiting on analysis. Did something happen to those samples? Or am I mistaken?
There might be for something else, maybe like quite some time
We
ago.
did do sampling at the chromium plants, and I'm wondering if you're mistaking our chromium sampling that we did outside of several of the Chrome 6 plants. But this is the first time we went to in vitro. Or
Okay, I must be somehow didn't keep it straight in my brain. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
no problem.
And Jimmy's got her hand up.
Hi, yeah, Megan, I don't think you're wrong. When we had our stationary source conversation, there was talk of doing monitoring and sampling around Vitro glass, and I was told that that was conducted and you're waiting for results. So I am interested in what those results are. Also, our last subcommittee meeting, we talked about how there were higher readings at Edison, and that y'all were going to be doing PM 2.5 speciation to understand why that was the case. Do you have any updates on that as well?
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
actually what I started earlier on that Edison High School. So we started the sampling March 13th. And so we sample roughly about twice per week. And so those samples have been sent off, and we're still waiting for the results, but it's been a while now. So I think it's any day now that we'll be getting the results for those samples. So once, no problem. So once we get that, we'll let you all know and get the results of it.
Yeah, we send our lab samples out in batches, and I actually just got the email right before this meeting that they billed us for the analysis. So we are probably going to get the results very shortly, probably within the next 24 hours. So unfortunately, this meeting beat them to our meeting.
Thanks for
Okay,
that update.
thanks. And the sampling at Vitro glass?
So the one that we just recently, oh yeah, go ahead, Brad.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't believe our last batch includes those, but we did just ship out another separate batch to get those out. So hopefully we get those back pretty quickly. Usually it's about a month or 2 months, depending on how we sample to get the results back from the laboratory. The laboratory is based out in Oregon, and we have to overnight all of our samples to them. So it takes a little bit of time for them to set up their equipment and do a lot of lab analysis all at one time.
Okay. Thank you for that confirmation, Brad. You said you were wrapped up. Did you have any more questions, Genevieve?
I think that was it. Thanks.
Let's 4:16. Let's hopefully Naomi can join us. I'm going to review a couple of the higher end stuff. Oh, you know what we should do? I know what we should do. Let's go ahead and jump into the action item list that we started building last time, and just kind of get some status updates for the crew and just see where we stand with all this stuff so we can check back in. Right at the top, hopefully you can read that. I can read it, which generally is a good, oh yeah, 150, that'll work. There we go, thank you. All right, so the air monitoring flyer, just sharing that information. We produced that, that's complete. Actually, very excited because we got that flyer, the AB 617 flyer, into the hands of the schools. And I think we got quite a few folks signed up from that. Connect with CART, that's occurring too. Zong has reached out, and in fact, Zong, do you have an update on that? Are we gonna try and do an summer connection to maybe present to the environmental science next year?
Yeah, I connected with at least one of the teachers with their environmental science and a research program, and she connected me with the rest of their team. So the hope is that we're going to continue the conversation, and I know that they're in the midst of finalizing their school year. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to meet again. But she said that the kiddos at their school, or students, sorry, are going to look at the data. They were excited to see that the data is available, and so she would also keep in touch if they have any questions on that.
Gotcha. The next two items, both the ones in green, the parent survey and the community focus group ideas, those are kind of ongoing. We definitely want to talk about maybe coming up with a concept that we could push through the mini grants, where we lean on our advocacy groups to do that. We also, and maybe kind of do it in depth at specific places. We the district we're gonna kind of continue percolating on a concept to pop out at AB 617 schools in the early morning in August, when school gets back in session, and hand out information to parents and, air monitoring details. So a couple of fronts, but we do think we can strengthen that connection, maybe leaning on a mini group concept, both for probably serving parents, families at school sites, and or focus group stuff. Obviously we can have community meetings and some town halls and make that happen. But if we did any kind of focus group work, or maybe we, reach out to a specific cohort of parents at a school and, do extended education, lots of open ideas on that thought. But wanting to both do something on the district side and lean on you guys, so we can spread the depth there, hopefully is the plan. And then of course, moving on, a lot of good conversation. I was actually going to ask Chai if he knew, or maybe we can call someone into the meeting. We have been looking at our text messaging, at least in the method of sharing, breaking information, air quality episodes. We're not at the point at any means, where we can put something into RAN. We've talked about sort of the critical house of cards structure that is RAN, but we definitely have the means to collect phone numbers and communicate to the public, and are exploring that with our latest service delivery, the same way we send emails. And then I know there's conversation about, checking in with ARB, EPA Air Now, about connecting that community data, and if that's possible. I know the ask has been made. Maybe that's probably where it stands as far as an update is concerned. Would you stop sharing, Tom?
Yeah, we haven't really, we've had some preliminary discussions onto that. But it looks like there is potential there, but we still need to have further discussions and the technicalities of it.
Got it. So some real opportunities to connect, and hoping that you guys can come to the table, join us with some of those ideas. We push forward anything. And then in general, we are still sitting down formally and trying to get I think we're gonna have better luck now, a principal meeting, or, the main administrator at these school sites. Lots of interest when we do connect with them, and then they bring all the staff and we can educate them. So we're excited about continuing to do that, and moving on down the line.
Hey, Heather, Genevieve had a comment in the chat.
Yep.
Her question was, could we partner with an academic institution such as a sociologist or MPH from Fresno State?
Well, sure.
And this is-
I like that. I like that idea. You mean to come out and join us at the, be the, the person to ask questions of, or the resource in the room concerning health and how things work?
Yeah, I made the comment when we were talking about the focus groups, and creating the questions and hosting the focus groups. I know Fresno State's been interested in perception of air pollution in the valley in the past, and also focus groups are right up sociologists bandwagon there. And so thinking that maybe it could be, rather than just granting out to a community-based organization, maybe partnering with an academic institution and a community-based organization,
Mhm.
and having it be like a 3-partner project so that we get the benefits of all 3 institutions.
Right, I like it. Like it.
And maybe this is something Dr. Pacheco Warner could help us with.
Right, definitely. I like this idea. Do you see it as something that we would do? We're connecting parents, right? Our aim is parents or educators or both?
Could you pull up the chart that we were just talking about just to help me?
So this was in the concept of, I was trying to remember, it came out, it was a recommendation from Nyameen. I think it's the one we should add.
Focus groups to discuss outreach ideas.
Yeah.
And so those focus groups could be with educators and parents and different contingents of the people we're trying to connect with and get their feedback on best ways to share information and do outreach. And I just think that if we could get an academic involved, it could really help us connect with past research on the topic and make this really helpful, not just for South Fresno, but perhaps a case study for other groups across the state and country.
Got it. Taking notes. I like it. Thanks for the ideas. And then, of course, the big question that we have when we get to when we sit down with administrators is asking about their resources. One, confirming and/or verifying they follow RAN and have sort of basic air quality understanding, but 2, then asking if they want to work with us to deploy something that's public facing in this school. That's kind of where we left it last time. But then the question on the table that I still don't actually have an answer to is whether or not those could be specific URLs pulling the data from the community monitor versus the regulatory grade monitor. So that's definitely still a conversation on the table. And then, hold on, I gotta check my list. Oh, one of the things I did want to let you know we're working on, just a matter as a matter of course of an update. We're working on a not wildfire, but fireworks infographic. You know, we definitely don't like fireworks, never have, but just the words of please don't use them. We're trying to convey in some imagery and a visual basis, maybe with a stat or 2, the health impacts of fireworks. And so we're working on that too. And otherwise, team, I don't have any major updates other than wanting to know if you've got brainstormed ideas of groups we can hit up, Genevieve, that and/or who else here, Lisa, that we could solicit for some of that mini grant work, some of the, you know, concentrated efforts. Lots of ideas coming out of Stockton, their mini grant efforts, but at the same time, finding that it's going to be this sort of specific group that has the means to either be in the community, understands the community, or is maybe already working in the community. So still wanting to push that forward. Y'all are quiet today. And it's 4:26. I'm assuming Nyameen got tied up. Juan Luis, how you doing? All right, I've got several things to follow up on. I think we should, oh, and I should also let you know in the general advertising sense, even though we're more specifically focused on sharing air quality data and where to find air quality information in this context, we are going to work on some paid advertising in June for some of the outreach materials and things that are pushing through in the higher project plans for the SERP. I see Lilia joined us. Yay. Hi, Lilia.
Hi. Hola, hola. Okay.
Nice to see you.
Yes, me too. I am on the freeway. I'm here. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now that you're here, I wanted it reminds me that we owe you a big thank you for all the work your Familias en Acción did at the Fresno lawnmower event. That was an outstanding event. I don't know if any of you were able to attend, but Lilia and her team were out there and they made delicious breakfast burritos for all of the participants of the event, the people that came through and traded out their mowers. And let me tell you, there were some happy customers that day. They got lots of material. They got information on how to find other grants. They got a nice brand new lawnmower. They turned in an old polluting lawnmower. They left with a burrito and a happy belly. It was a wonderful day that day. And we were very thankful to have the partnership from them. So thank you. We've kind of sped through our agenda today. We were hoping to get maybe an update from Nyameen, but we haven't seen her yet. We definitely still have a few others on here, and the floor is yours. Ideas, updates, things you'd like to see from us. Chai kind of already went over just sort of baseline things. We're still in a holding pattern waiting for the speciation from Edison to come back and the new sampling that occurred at Vitro Glass or whatever exactly occurred there, the details of that. And so we're kind of in a holding pattern waiting for that information. So there wasn't a presentation from Chai today. But we're here and the forum is yours. So if you've got questions and ideas, please don't hesitate to share. And that includes the team, the Air District team. Oh, and I had just was talking, Lilia, about we're going to get a fireworks infographic made, talking about the health impacts of fireworks, and we will get it translated and share that with you too.
I don't have anything to add, but if I wanted to follow up with y'all about this potential partnership, like community-based organization, academic, and Air District, who would I follow up with? Would that be you, Heather?
Yeah, myself. Juan Luis is going to be active in this outreach committee, and Jamie too. All three of us. Yeah, for sure. Genevieve, I like the idea. Okay. I think we should percolate on it. I would love to talk more.
Sounds good.
And Lilia, now that you're on the call, I'd love to also get some ideas for the summer in terms of outreach events or anything that you might know of that we can share our flyers, our AB 617 flyers. Would love to be still out and about. And I know that some of the schools also still have summer school. So if there's any in particular that you're aware of that you feel that we should definitely put in a call and see if we could, do presentations or visit, on campus, please let us know.
That's a good point, Song. We owe Lilia more AB 617 flyers because I realized she was doing all the work cleaning up the alleys. And it was really awesome chance to connect in Southeast Fresno. It looks like she has a question too. Go ahead, Lilia. Oops, and sorry about that. If we didn't say, let's everyone go into the English channel so that you can hear it in real time. My apologies.
Sí, Heather, ya lo aprendí. ¿Me escuchan? ¿Me escuchan? Ok, nada más que le tengo una pregunta. Gracias por la flor grandota que nos das por los burritos que dimos en el evento que tuvieron de AB617 sobre las máquinas de césped. ¿Quieres que lo diga corrido? Ok, Heather. También otra de las cosas es que me preocupó es que creo que ustedes se reunieron con Ayamin referente a los árboles que plantamos en los planteles escolares y desafortunadamente yo no sé por qué no estuve incluida en esa reunión con Mona. Entonces, quiero saber cómo vamos a seguir con ese procedimiento de los árboles que donaron para poder, la comunidad ya está registrada, la ciudad ya está encargada, pero necesitamos saber cómo vamos a plantar esos árboles y si nos los van a donar o ya no los van a donar.
Great question, Lilia. Unfortunately, I don't have the answers because that was a wonderful partnership with Nyameen's group and I believe Tree Fresno. And I went out to the event because I knew Nyameen was going to be there and I needed to see her. And it was a chance to stop in the AB 617 footprint for me and share lawnmower flyers. But that was something that Nyameen, I think, has been working on, and I do need to check in with her and see what that agreement is. Not to be confused with the process that I know this committee is engaging in for trees and all the work that that subcommittee is doing. That's a completely separate process. These two things were different if it seemed like they were similar. I'm gonna wait and see if that.
Perfecto, sí, Heather, perdón, sí, Heather, es que estaba confundida entonces, porque los residentes ya me están llamando que cuando les vamos a plantar sus árboles y como familias en acción no queremos quedar mal con nadie. Así es que si algo pueden ayudarme es donándome esos árboles para poder llevarlos a donde los residentes lo piden, ya que un árbol es salvavidas también para nosotros porque es aire puro para nosotros también.
And you're absolutely right, Lilia. And the good news is that's right where we are right now in the process with that other subcommittee and figuring out the trees and how to get them into the hands of community folks, just like the ones that you've been working with in the alleys and things. So I think we're poised and ready. We're right there. It just hasn't happened yet. And you're right. We will keep you in the mix so that we can make sure that they go straight to your agency and into the, you know, to the homes that you're working in.
Muchas gracias, Heather. También este sábado a las 8 de la mañana vamos a limpiar 2 callejones en la área, así es que están cordialmente invitados. Si ustedes quieren unirse a nosotros, Familias en Acción se ha unido a Beautiful Fresno para poder ser más las personas y trabajemos más en conjunto y podamos hacer más limpiezas en comunidades más grandes.
Awesome. You connected with the city of Fresno. That's fantastic. What time? Oh. We can check. Yeah. And I can have one of the ladies reach out, but we would like to share some flyers and anything else we can hand off of that. That'd be awesome. I'll probably have Anna reach out to you or Juan Luis, Lilia, and connect on that. Cool. Okay. Very good. I see the thumbs up. Okay. Well, if I'm not hearing any more, I think I'll give you guys 25 minutes back. Genevieve, I will circle around with Jamie and we'll connect, and I expect to probably get an email from you on that and pass that idea up the chain. Would love to connect with Dr. Warner too. I really like her, and that's a great idea. All right. Anything else, team? Oh, if Tanya would tell me Lilia's comment. Oh, yes. Got it. Okay, well, I think we're done. But please, that doesn't mean the ideas stop flowing, and that doesn't mean that the work stops. We're just done talking about it at this very meeting, and we have much more to do. Oh, she's on her way to Sacramento. Excellent. You are a busy woman, Lilia. Keep up the good work. Okay. Bye, team. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.